chose to tell that I want to be a cake engineer. While people mocked at me, a few of them would ask me to repeat just so that they could laugh again. But however, it didn't matter to me. And I think that is the reason I have moments like this happening in my life. Hi, I'm Neha Gupta, born and brought up in Bangalore, in Namma, Bengaluru. I was born in an Orthodox Hindu family where as simple as cake cutting was considered a taboo, and I don't remember having even a single cake in my childhood. So definitely, I think not just me, any kid would be attracted towards what they don't have, right? That's the exact same thing what happened with me as well. And I was drawn towards the confectionery and pastry programs that used to go live on television from many other countries out of India where they would, transport really large cakes. And it used to be always fascinating for me to see such large cakes going out. And one fine day I thought, why don't I bake a cake at home? Now I had two problems. I think most of us have an issue by convincing our moms, right? So that was the major issue. And me entering as a little girl into the kitchen, she was worried if I'll mess up the whole kitchen and what is going to happen. And the second and foremost thing was that I didn't have a microwave or an oven at home. So this was a major thing. Now, both my neighbors had a microwave at their houses. Now it was time for me to pull my mom to their house just to convince them if I can use their microwave. So we decided to, mix the batter and measure ingredients at our house and set it off to bake at their house. I was a 11, 12-year-old excited girl, glued right in front of the oven for almost 1 to 1.5 hours just to see how the cake is going to raise and turn its color and take the aroma and enjoy the whole process. And that's the cake I baked. So let's just say that the cake didn't turn out as expected. It turned out to be something else. But that very moment, that moment is the life-changing moment, I would say, because there was a spark within me. I felt I need to learn more. I need to do something more to learn what goes behind cake making and baking, the whole drama that I used to see on the television. And my mother and I started looking for workshops, but unfortunately, it was not that easy to find a place where it was dedicated for, cake and baking, just exactly 10 years back. But somehow we did find a few classes and mentors who could teach. Unfortunately, again, they were not ready to take me as I was an 11-year or a 12-year-old child. They thought that, safety hazards and I won't be able to handle the heat of the oven or whatever. They thought maybe I'll mess up their kitchen, but they didn't know that they were talking to a very adamant 11-year-old. I kept calling them, I kept messaging them, and somehow they agreed. So right after that, when all my friends and people whom I know would go for movies or picnic on their weekends, I used to go for baking workshops. And surprisingly, what used to happen is that not just me attending, I would come back and teach the coming week of the same topic what I've learned the last week. And people were actually coming. I really wonder how they could actually trust a 11 or a 12-year-old doing this. When I used to teach, I'm not sure what they really understood, but they used to pay money and they would actually come and learn from me. So after seeing all this, right after my board exams, that is after my 10th board exams, I decided I want to get into a professional pastry and a culinary school. But again, I started hearing from people that, education is important and whatnot. Of course, education is important, but why not the right stream of education and waste your time, money, efforts, your everything into something that you don't really want to do, and for the sake of having a degree or for having a certificate where you are just proud of having it for just a printout of it, and you're wasting your entire 5 or 6 years of your life doing something what you really don't want to do. I said no. I was adamant. Of course, it was not easy to convince people at my home as well, considering the fee structure and the distance from my house to college. But after a bit of dilemma and convincing, they were okay for me to stepping into a professional training. And I was 16 when I got into a professional baking academy. I was the youngest again. I completed a pastry and a culinary program. While doing this, I used to feel extremely exhausted because it was a long training process. It used to start morning at 9 o'clock and finish maybe somewhere around 6:37. I would come back home 1.5 hours later. That means I used to get back home around 8 or 8:30. But I was enjoying the process so much that I started taking up orders just after I came back home. That means I started to commercially sell my goods when I was 16. By the time I was 18, that is 3 years past my starting of the whole career, I already had created a client base of my own. I didn't have to struggle for a year or so just to accumulate people. But I wanted to do something big. I wanted to meet big people. I wanted to network with them. I wanted to socialize with them, understand how they do things. And that is when I started attending events where I could socialize with CEOs or top people of Bangalore. And this really helped me. Because, having a direct conversation to listening to their motivational talks is a totally different thing. And I just didn't have a conversation. I actually networked with many of them. And I took part in events which were international standards. I somehow got into their companies to collaborate with them. And I was sponsoring a few events where I could show my goods and my work. And seeing all this, a lot of Bangalore VIPs and celebrities started to celebrate my work on their special day. So again, after seeing this, I started receiving quite a lot of awards, recognitions, and honors from all around India. So these are the few things. So you saw my first cake, right? And look at the cake that I made in the 3 years. So, you guys have to tell, how is it? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So that was the improvement. And if you think that, getting into a professional course in whatever you're interested is foolish, no, you're not. That is the right way for you to take your path. Many people think that, they'll live all their life, they can live forever. But that's not it, right? We need to do what we really like, and we just have to go by our heart. For me, cake making is not just about baking. It's about putting my thoughts and my creativity on that little piece of sweetness, the edible treat. So after doing all this, after receiving awards, recognitions, I had completed 5 years of CreamOnTop. Now, if you ask me, Neha, is this all you did in your childhood? Did you just bake and go to school and come back? No, you're wrong. I was part of sports like many other children, and I also took part in co-curricular activities and many other things. I was also modeling and acting for a few years. But when it came to priorities, baking has always been the cream on top. And that's the reason I named my brand CreamOnTop. And today, I'm the proud founder of CreamOnTop, which is a 6-year-old bespoke cake brand. And I didn't want to stop my journey by just making cakes. And for the 5th year celebration of CreamOnTop, I told I need to give back to the society in some way possible. And that is when Expedition Annapurna came into place. This is a mission where I pledged that I will be donating a meal for every order that CreamOnTop receives. And by seeing this, not just one or two, many other youngsters and like-minded people came together. And today we have a community of 75 plus people who donate every month without fail. And we don't just donate meals today, we donate groceries and essentials and whatever the ashrams and NGOs of Bangalore request us to do. Isn't this something everybody would want to see? Following your passion, filling your pockets, your heart, your soul, and still be satisfied at a very young age? So this is exactly what I did. But initially it was not like an easy thing though. I was baking, I used to clean, I used to model for my own brand, I used to market, I used to handle clients, I used to handle the social media. everything, like anything and everything, it was just one-man army. But today, if I look back, it was all definitely for something. Moments like this, right? Baking cake might be just like a hobby for a lot of them, but for me, it has been my life. To see those smiles on the client's face as they receive the cake that they have ordered, I think it just rewards the whole scene of sleepless nights or any kind of sacrifices of going to functions or whatever it is. But today, I don't just see the testimonials of my clients, but I also get to see the amazing welcoming smiles from the little kids and the elders that we have supported towards in the ashrams. I would like to say and end this talk is that follow your heart, follow your passion, take a leap and make sure you make your passion into reality. I think turning your passion into a business is the most fulfilling job one could ever do. I didn't wait for opportunities, I created my own. If you think, if you feel that I did something, can I please hear something? Can I please hear a round of applause or say something? Okay, thank you so much.